I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Hello, superwomen. I am so excited to talk about this today. I want to talk about initiating. Now, this is something that has been coming up a lot for my clients. And these women are self-starters. They have no trouble seeing what needs to get done and doing it when it comes to their businesses, when it comes to just other areas in life. The one area that it seems difficult for them to initiate is when it comes to sex. So initiating is easy in the beginning. We don't have to think about it. You know, I love that NRE. We talk about it often. Wrote about it in my book, The Pink Canary, the cocktail of intoxicating hormones that we have at the beginning of a new relationship. The dopamine, the norepinephrine is like you just want to be around that person. You can't get enough. So sex happens more, it kind of happens without thinking. And then those hormones fade. This is natural. This is supposed to happen. They're replaced by connection hormones. But that spark is gone. And for our dopamine-seeking brains, we can think that something is wrong. But that's not actually the case. And I'll talk about that in a second. So whether you are a single superwoman dating, whether you are in a relationship, you're having sex fairly often, but you're always letting your husband lead or your partner start things, because usually in those relationships, they would love if you put in the effort to do it. Or if you're in a sexless marriage, like so many of you, or you're in a dry spell, this episode is for you. So we're going to talk about truths, teaching, and I got a ton of tips. And these are not tips for everyone. This is not light the candles, put it in your calendar, schedule it. Fuck that. We know that we are far more complicated than that with our superwoman brain. So you are here because this is the advice that works. These are the tips for you and your relationship dynamic specifically, because the rest of what's out there is not going to cut it for a superwoman brain, which is why I love you. Okay, truth. So we have to get to the bottom of this. We have to get to the truths, our beliefs, if we are going to change things or take a different action. Truth number one, cognitive dissonance. We expect it to be like the beginning. We start to think that something's wrong when it's not. We assume, and this might not even be a conscious belief, but we kind of assume that it should take that little effort, or we're trying to get back to the sex that we were having in the beginning. It's not how it works. It's not biologically, it's not physiologically possible. So when we have to put in a little effort, when we have to change things up, which is literally what I'm teaching people to do to save their relationships, nothing puts the brakes on libido faster than feeling obligated or thinking like, oh, like I have to put in effort for this. Well, the truth is, yes, you do, but it can be funner and easier than you think. Truth number two, initiating for superwomen is different. When we are high achieving, people pleasing, overgivers, got a little trauma, we might be a little or very depressed, a little or very anxious, perfectionistic. We want to do our best all the time. With our all or nothing dopamine seeking brains, it usually means we are in sexless marriages, like we're checked out, we're overworking, we're getting our dopamine elsewhere. and sex is just another thing on the to-do list. We were chatting on our mentorship group call about the dry spells that we were having. And there were these beliefs coming up, thinking if I start something, then I can't stop it, or it's going to set this expectation. And you can hear the all or nothing thinking, the lack of boundaries. And what ends up happening is we end up starving ourselves of connection. So maybe after a long day where you've put out several fires, got things done at work, got things done with the kids, you don't feel like penetrative sex that night. So you are avoiding your partner, you are not changing in front of them, but instead of saying, babe, can you hold me tonight? Can you hold me naked tonight? Like we won't even ask for a little bit of connection, nothing to advance the plot. We just shut down. And a lot of us, it's the thing is that if you ask for something, then he takes it as a green light. And we have trouble saying, not tonight. We're not good at saying no, not good at letting other people be disappointed. So back to our all or nothing thinking brains, we want things to be perfect, but we have so many plates spinning in the air. If we don't feel supported, if we are not feeling safe, we are in fear. We could be super controlling, naggy, busy, disconnected. Resentment builds in our relationships. Somebody cheats, somebody checks out. Like if we're in that place, heading into initiating with a perfectionist mindset is like it's a recipe for failure. So we just don't, but we starve ourselves of all connection by thinking this way. And lots of my work is helping my clients get out of this all or nothing thinking trauma response. So, for example, I talked about this on our call yesterday, talked about the 5 out of 10 blowjob. So, here's a tip for you. 5 out of 10 blowjob is just your mouth and one hand, no balls, no prostate play. And aside from my clients dying laughing, they were actually super relieved. We were talking about, and this is this is an example, but I was talking about we're giving what we are getting. We are matching effort. So if you can't buy me flowers, remember our anniversary, plan a getaway. Notice when I'm stressed and say, babe, I got this. I mean, first of all, for me, you're cut. There's no entry. No, thank you. Not relating on that level anymore. But if I was in a marriage like that, then I'm not going to be pulling out all my tricks to have him orgasming, ejaculating, hitting the ceiling. Nope, no thank you. Bare minimum is out, matching effort is in. And this can actually really start to shift the relationship dynamic for the better. I'm giving you Cole's notes. So let me give you another example so we can land this. So a client, trust issues in their relationship, infidelity, I believe on both sides, addiction, but so much has been brought to light, so much truth telling, so much forgiving, so much grieving. And since working with me, her husband also has a coach, the healing has started and they're starting to connect. So after a dry period, a sexless period, she is starting to have desire again. But her hang up is she doesn't want to set the expectation and she doesn't want to get hurt. And getting hurt is a whole other podcast, but let's stick to initiating. So by being in all or nothing thinking, she's cutting off the option for any intimacy, any connection. And we can see where she doesn't want to set the expectation. She wants to have sex, but she's not sure if she wants it again. So, what is the problem of saying, I want you to go down on me and I'll let you know if we're going to take it any further? I've really been thinking a lot about us having sex. I miss it. And this doesn't mean that I want you to expect sex every day. I just want to see how this feels. So, statements like that were like giving an opportunity for connection. We're opening the door. We're also setting boundaries. And she doesn't even know if she's going to like it. Like, there's so much resentment and whatever that has to be worked through, but we need a place to start. We have to advance the plot. So, keep listening. I'll give you tips on how to do that later. Third truth, rejection. This might be one of the biggest thing that stops superwomen from initiating is fear of rejection. And it is big. As good girls, we are conditioned to not hear no. We're conditioned to take the temperature of the room, to caretake for everyone's feelings, to make sure that everybody is like happy and great. And it is even harder to hear no when we are experiencing feminine burnout and our pleasure tanks are empty. If you are new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, episode 117 on the pleasure tank, and just scroll through. I've done a few series on feminine burnout. We think if we initiate and they say no, it feels like we will pass away. Like rejection physically hurts superwomen. It triggers all of our abandonment shit, us seeking love from parents that weren't capable of giving it to us unless we were overgiving, people pleasing high achievers, which is how we earned our capes. So we just don't ask. And also, we don't let our partner say no to us either. And we need to be able to say no to each other because we are some smart, crafty bitches. And if you ask the partner of a superwoman, it is expensive. The cost of doing business with a superwoman in a relationship is fucking expensive. And I mean, that's who we are, some bougie ass queens. But when we are unhealed, our partners don't feel like they can say no to us. And this, it breeds so much resentment. So, us not being able to hear no, it keeps us small and disconnected from our power. And our men not being able to tell us no, it literally puts us in our men in their feminine. And then we don't respect them. There is resentment. It's just, ugh. And when our tanks are empty, it is like so hard to hear no. It is easier to just do things ourselves than ask for help and risk feeling rejected. And we do this across the board. We usually are over functioning in most areas of our life, in and out of the bedroom. Not to mention, if you've been here a while, love you, our empty pleasure tanks, it turns off this pleasure centers in our brain. We are in survival mode. We want to shut down or trigger. If our partners come near us, it's just like, ew, get away. The truth is, this is our work to do. If our tanks are always empty, if we are in fear, if we are controlling, if we are a hungry ghost that is never happy, nothing is ever good enough, we are not satisfied, we can't let go. A part of this work is on us, and that's not on our partner. And it makes you fucking mad because you already do so much. So you can be mad and resentful, crusty, controlling, or come with me on this journey. It's time to get yours. Pleasure, presence, connection. I'm teaching my clients no as a place to play. When you hear no, it's an opportunity for deeper connection. Instead of hearing no and it being like, ouch, that was awful, it sucked, we put on our sexy big girl panties and learn how to tolerate that sensation. We're learning how to tolerate pleasure. We're learning how to tolerate pain. So if you want orgasms that last 60 seconds, if you want connection with your partner that isn't just fake, it's not for the gram, it's like true connection that people are envious of. If you want to be present with pleasure, where you're actually feeling good, you're not always chasing, striving, you are going to want to hear about the mentorship summer sale. So if what I am describing is speaking to you, this is big. I have never done this before. The only way that you're going to have access to over $10,000 of elite bonuses, be able to start private coaching with me right away, is to apply for the mentorship summer sale. This will sell out. You're going to be a part of the mentorship 2025. There are 2 in-person retreats. We have the most amazing monthly group calls. And I hear you that it is overwhelming to think about adding one more thing to your plate. But my question to you is, how long can you continue to live like this? The therapy hasn't worked. The quick fixes that you've tried haven't worked. Oh, if I just lose weight, then I'll have more energy and then I'll initiate and then everything will be better. No, this like, and how has that worked for those of you that thought about applying last year or did apply and decided, oh, I'll wait until next year? How has that worked for you? The mentorship is designed for women like you with how much you have on your plate. Like, I know the game, I know the excuses, I know the way that we try and wiggle out of doing this work or denying ourselves feeling good. We don't know what that's like. If you knew what it was like to feel good, you would be feeling good. You wouldn't be listening to this right now. And you know you've exhausted all of your options and you're looking for answers, tools that I can provide that's going to start changing things for you and your relationship right away. So I want you to head to the show notes and apply. Let's chat. I want to make sure that this is a fit for both of us. And if it is not, because this is an investment, if it is not, I have other options for you. But please, serious applicants only. Like, this is for women who are ready to take action. So for those of you that don't want to live another month, year, feeling as lonely, empty, unfulfilled as you do, you want to be desired, well fucked, happy. Let's do this thing. Let's connect. Okay, tips for initiating sex. Number 1, initiate authentically. We hear a lot of like, oh, I think I have to put on lingerie and do this big performance or have sex for him because we are inherently people pleasers. And for some of you, it could have been about him for a lot of years. Well, guess what? Now it's time to switch it up. New equals dopamine equals more connection, more fun. So let's start making this about your pleasure. It will feel selfish for your people pleasing, overgiving superwoman brain, but we can start small. This is not all or nothing. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. What am I available for right now? What would make me feel more present? What would make me feel more connected? What type of intimacy am I craving? Saturday night sex, hotel sex, like lazy morning sex. This is work that you have to do on your own first. Okay. A lot of us are putting this all on our men. And then when they are trying for the Saturday night sex, but you just want like cozy, lay in bed, forehead kissing sex, that's like, it's a mismatch. So knowing what we want, what we're available for is so important. And then we have to be able to communicate it, which I will get to in tip number 3. But say you've had a lot of travel or it's been a really long day of you having a lot of fires to put out. Maybe you just want to lay naked and be held. I like to be read to. That is a love language. Praise kink is my love language. Forehead kisses are my love language. Sometimes it's hotel sex. It's going to depend on my mood. But if I know what I want and I can communicate that, comes from such a better place. Tip number 2, you can't mess this up. So many of us, we're scared of doing the wrong thing. We're scared of, how do we look? What if I don't do this perfect? I just told you about 5 out of 10 blowjob. Okay. You're going to be happy with that. Your man will be happy with that. I promise you. And if he's not, then he needs to up his damn game. And if your man is showing up 10 out of 10, then please give him the 12 out of 10 blowjob. But we are giving what we are getting. Okay, back to this. So you cannot mess up with the right man. If you are being yourself, you can't go wrong. You can only go wrong if you are faking it. Men respond to you enjoying yourself, your pleasure. Being fake leaves something to be desired. This is like junk food sex. Like if you're having sex to have sex, and he's like, oh, I could tell, like you weren't really enjoying yourself or you were kind of in pain. So I was just trying to hurry up and get it over with. Like that actually erodes connection. It doesn't create it. Authenticity is sexy. So many of us have so many walls up. We are only showing the parts of ourselves that we think are acceptable. So many superwomen have shrunk ourselves to fit into our partner's container. We are only giving them what we think they can handle. And when you shrink yourself, it is suffocating and it is so fucking lonely in there. And you don't want to leave, which I get, which what I teach. So, how do you expand? How does your partner expand with you? When initiating as a superwoman, the only way you can mess it up is by being fake. So, I talk about archetypes in my groups, and we can use them kind of as alter egos. So, if you are embarrassed, curious, giddy, playful, do that. Like be that. Be like I don't know if I'm doing this right. It's that if that is authentically who you are, don't try and read some Instagram post from online and be like, "Do you like the way I suck your dick, daddy?" Like no. No, no, no. Authenticity is sexy. Tip number 3, there's lots of ways to communicate. So we can start small, saying things that we are comfortable with, because I just told you. And number 2, we need to be authentic. So take a shower with me, give me a foot massage, hold me naked. Okay. And a lot of times, get in bed naked, hold each other, and then just without the expectation for more. But when your nervous system can relax, if you can feel safe in his arms, the pleasure centers in your brain are going to turn back on. Your pleasure pulse is going to rise, and you might want to be intimate after. So, flirting. And if you feel bad flirting, you probably have stopped flirting, but flirting is a great way to communicate. Flirt in text, maybe then, not in person. We can also communicate without words. Move his hand to where you want it. Moan. If you're looking for more tips on communicating, download my Dirty Talk guide. We will link that in the show notes for you. We talk about energy in there as well, like how we can say these things authentically. And remember, give what you get. Is he giving you 5 out of 10 communicating? It's just totally cool to give that right back. Okay. Because if we are energetically a 10 out of 10, like, so if your man isn't moaning, if he's not telling you what he wants, then why do we have to do 10 out of 10? No, match it. And actually, that will help clear the resentment and actually make room for things to improve. Tip number 4 for initiating sex. We need to let go of the belief, I just want him to know, I just want him to read my mind. That is actually bullshit. What that is, and I hear this all the time, like, oh, I just wish he could make me come the way I could make myself come. We are our own best lovers. We should be. People are not mind readers, okay? And sometimes, if they are, it is like trauma-based sex, and we all know how that ends. But when I hear, I just want him to know, I want him to read my mind, that is bullshit. It's a cop-out. It's us saying, I don't want to feel, I don't want to put myself out there. I fear vulnerability. When our pleasure tanks are empty, our fear gets us to freeze. Okay. And I wanted to say a lot more on that, but the truth is, I'm going out for lunch and I'm going to have some sparkling on a patio. I'm going to look really, really cute. So that's all you get today. Note, final thought, none of this will work if your pleasure tank is empty and you're experiencing feminine burnout. Our first step is tank needs to be a quarter to a half half full before we can hope to heal a relationship. If this speaks to you, if your tank is empty, if you are looking for somebody to guide you into next steps, book a call. Would love to chat. Love you all. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.